How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I'm talking about compromising situations because of alcohol drinking. As far as I'm concerned, every time you take a drink, you compromise yourself in some way. And the more you drink, the more you are compromised. There's a lot of obvious stuff that happens when you have a drink, right? You know, there's people who get themselves into precarious, aggressive situations when they have a drink. People who say things that they don't really want to say or didn't mean to say when they've had a drink. People, both sexes, and I'm talking about both sexes here with the aggression, with the saying things, with the doing things. People get themselves into precarious sexual situations because of alcohol. You know, and both sexes as well. You know, women are more likely to be taken advantage of, and men are more likely to do things that they wouldn't normally do and to put themselves into positions which they are deeply going to regret. Women as well, you know, it's just not, it's one of those things that it loosens your inhibitions, but your inhibitions are there for a reason. You know, we have these inhibitions because we're trying not to do certain things, you know. So I can only say from the perspective that I'm at now, 7 years into this journey, and to see how much my life has changed and how much I'm doing things in terms of, you know, really pushing myself forwards, coming from a position of strength rather than weakness. And that was really what I was doing when I was drinking alcohol, was there was so much weakness in my life, and the weakness was accumulating. You know, you're talking about drinking alcohol from one sense in that you're weak in the moment. You know, you weaken yourself while you're drinking, you weaken your mind while you're drinking, you weaken yourself physically, you weaken yourself financially, you weaken yourself socially when you're drinking because you're saying things that you don't want to say and doing things that you don't want to do, so on and so forth. But think about the accumulation of that over time. You know, the best way of looking at the accumulation of the effects of using alcohol is like erosion. You know, take a river flowing down through a valley, and that valley was more than likely caused in part by the river, you know, and the more the river flows, the more it erodes the underlying foundations, carries it away. And that's really what's happening in your life. You know, you erode yourself physically, you erode yourself financially, you erode yourself mentally, you erode your relationships, you erode your health. You erode so many different parts of your life because of alcohol. As I say, you know, I'm talking about this now from seeing both sides. You know, I've seen myself as a drinker who really didn't care about much else rather than where I was going to get, not the next pint or the next drink, but the next session, where I was going to drink that day, you know. You know, how I was going to fit in a few pints at the end of the day, that kind of thing. And you know, that accumulates up into a lot of life wasted, a lot of time wasted. And as I say, you know, what you're doing is you're building on a weakness, you're building on really loose foundations every time you use alcohol, you know, and the more the alcohol accumulates. Whereas when you stop drinking from that, you've got no choice but to start building, and you're building on weak foundations at the beginning, but then that quitting drinking alcohol really solidifies things and starts to create strong foundations for you. Then you're starting to build on strength instead of weakness, and you start to come from being open instead of closed. You know, I think drinkers are deceitful people because they have to deceive in order to hold some semblance of credibility, some semblance of that they are still in control, some semblance of you know, that they are not silly and not stupid for doing what they're doing. But that closeness and that weakness becomes strength and becomes openness. You know, you start to operate from the truth instead of deception. So, you know, it's just another way of looking at this. You know, if you're a drinker, you know, just look at your life from that perspective, and you know, don't just look at the individual time that you're drinking. Look at it from a whole perspective in terms of what the accumulation of alcohol is causing. from all aspects of your life, in terms of the time, the money, relationships, all of it. If you're looking for help for quitting drinking alcohol, we've got the Habits Unplugged course. It used to be called the Mastermind Coaching Program. We still refer to some of it as that. But the program itself is designed to, first of all, stop you from drinking alcohol, right? To get you away from that, and to we've got 3 parts of the program. We've got preparation, which is a 15-day course leading you up to actually stopping and getting you into that right place, right frame of mind. Then we've got the transition, which can be anywhere between 30 days and 90 days, depending on you and depending on how much work you've got to do in this time. And really, transition is really to try and bridge that gap between stopping drinking alcohol and getting to the place where you're 80% there to quitting, and the rest of it is going to come about bit by bit. And the third and final part, the longest part of the course, is transformation. And this is what Habits Unplugged is all about as a program. We're not just there to try and get you away from alcohol. That's just a foundation, to build that foundation. We're there to really help you to improve yourself to such an extent that you start to become the best version of yourself, and you're living the best version of your own life. That's my goal in my life, and that's what I want to share in this program. And this is a lifelong commitment for me, doing this program. I can't see myself doing anything else. Maybe it'll be an expansion of the program, but this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life. This is where I'm putting all my efforts now. And you can take part if you want. There's a link down below this video. There's a $1 trial. After that, it's $39 a month. And there's also a yearly option, and there's a lifetime subscription as well that you can get. Like I say, if I was doing it, I'd get the lifetime subscription, because this is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. But there's a link down below. You can take part for just $1. Just have a look around and see what you think. All right, take care of yourself. Keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.